1980, 1981. So our application is technically a PUD modification that's been filed with the zoning commission a related rezoning from its current C3C to C4 zoning. That, as Ashton said, will allow the additional 20 feet of height and about 95,000 square feet of additional office space. As a PUD, we're balancing the benefits and benefits to the community and the project amenities against that development flexibility. That flexibility, by the way, is consistent with the comprehensive plan, which has this property designated for high-density commercial use. And so as Ashton described, got into it a little bit, there's the excellent streetscape improvements. Certainly the design, that's in the eye of the beholder, but I think it's fairly safe to say this is a dramatic improvement. And we're also doing, I don't know if you mentioned the sustainability component, but we'll be certifying the project at the LEED Gold level. There'll be, in terms of local employment, entering into a first source employment agreement with the Department of Employment Services. And been working, we met with the zoning, Planning and Zoning Committee last week, and working with Commissioner Padro specifically on details of the community benefits package. And we're certainly all on the same page there. And, I think I've talked enough. That's it. And I will say we filed the application, and we're hoping that it will be set down by for consideration by the zoning commission either at the end of this month or early next month.
I have one question. I know Rochelle and I agree on this, and it's something that I don't know if you have to comply. The sidewalk and the space around the building, do you have to do the same crappy concrete stuff that that come up and they're always breaking, they're always falling apart, they're always trip hazards for everybody? Are you required to have the trip hazards?
We are.
Actually, the one that's right there right now.
We are obliged to meet the streetscape standards that are set up by the District of Columbia. However, panels coming up is a construction method, and we'll work closely with the development team to be sure that we are installing those in a way that is successful.
Because it seems like everywhere that they put these, within a year or a year and a half, they kind of rise up from the ground, and it becomes really dangerous. And public space, as far as the city goes, they don't do anything to come out and fix it or do anything. So I would hope that possibly you could put in some sort of a maintenance plan with whomever you are, having in as tenants and also in the building, that would require that they take a look now and then and make sure, because so many times people trip, they catch their feet on those bricks and those cement blocks, and it can cause horrendous problems. So I wish you would consider something like that. And I appreciate the fact that you're considering some community benefits, and I know Alex and I have talked about some of those, and I look forward to seeing what's going to come up with that. That looks good.
Thank you.
The solar panels been entertaining this problem.
Pardon me?
The solar panels been entertaining.
I believe that we have solar panels. Do you want to describe?
So the intent right now is, at this point in the process, we are pretty early in determining what is the development opportunity. We have had a lot of conversations with the Department of Energy and are looking forward to finding the right opportunity to deliver the building. Ultimately, we have to do the thing that's going to make sense financially, and we're hoping that solar panels will be a part of that package.
And question, 1110. I see the sculpture that you are using from 1110. Would that be would you all actually use them bars?
No. So you're referring to the art page, which is taken from, let's see, this is page number, I believe it's page 20 in the drawing. So what we showed in our application 2 examples of site-specific artwork that our design team has collaborated with in the past. There were the sound bars at 1110 Vermont, to which you're referring, which I believe are coming out. But at the time, that was a very exciting and revolutionary way of activating a streetscape. we're also showing, which also show up in our design renderings, is the sculpture with David Hess that we collaborated with their team down at Canal Park, which is this thread that weaves through the park that kind of creates this continuity that links to some of the mercantile past of what used to happen out the canal. So that type of deep narrative that ties to the community is the type of narrative that we're hoping to find with the artists that we collaborate with. So we don't want to impose what that idea is. We're looking for that collaborative process, and we're looking forward to bringing the community any way we can to tell the right story.
I mean, 'cause this is the view of the city too. I mean, like, when you come off Third Street Tunnel, you're looking dead at the city.
Right.
And
So we were really excited about the opportunity to tell a story, whether it's Mount Vernon Triangle, the history of this block, the history of New Jersey Avenue, which is such a prime and important street, even though it's quite short in this part of the district. I think there are a lot of great stories to tell, and we look forward to working to find what the right story that fits with the building is.
I hope you're gonna look at, different kinds of sculptures. If you look at the one on K Street, which we call Yellow Big Bird, I hope you're gonna have more sense in your choices. And one of the sculptures that's really very attractive is at the corner, actually on the building of 7th and G, the musical,
Hodge.
at the Hodge.
Yep.
I mean, that's really very attractive, so I hope you're going to take into consideration
That it's
those
nice.
things that can fly and those things that don't need to. But, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So it's important to note that the streetscape improvements are an important part of the overall amenities package, which includes upgrades to the median, that's on the other side of the New Jersey Avenue facade.
So we're talking about this, which is not on the property, or not on the streetscape that's directly adjacent to the building. This area across New Jersey, which this is GSA land, so it does sound like the Department of Public Works is in charge of mowing that lawn. But
So in addition to the streetscape improvements and the public art, which we're anticipating is at least a $200,000 investment, whether or not Douglas Development does it on their own, or whether they get a grant from the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities to supplement it the way that City Market leveraged their investment. There's also a total of $50,000 that is proposed to be contributed to support both equipment and programming for both the Northwest One Library that we're sitting in right now, and for the Terrell Recreation Center, which is the other half of this building at 155 L Street Northwest. So friends groups are being incorporated for both of those institutions so that they can manage those contributions.
Why not spread it out a little more? I mean, to other nonprofits in this area, in the area that we're talking about, in the single member district? Why were those two only, my concern, why were those two only picked? Why not the McKenna House, Central Union Mission, who was just here, the Collaborative, they're all in Alfreda Central.
No, Central Mission is not, it's in.
Yes, they are, she is, yes it is, yes it is. Central Union Mission is in Alfreda's area. So why are we splitting just between two? I disagree.
Because
Why?
we got the Boys and Girls Club.
The Boys and Girls Club was addressed in the.
I'm not talking about Boys and Girls Club, I'm talking about the McKenna Center.
I'm answering Commissioner Barnes'
What?
comment first. So the Boys and Girls Club was addressed with the PUD for Citizen Court, with a substantial contribution, which Commissioner Nigro objected
That's
to the
right, you
size
better
of.
believe it.
Well, actually, Walker Jones and Turtle actually was too, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was
There
something.
was.
So there was something already for Walker Jones already, was it not, in that whole?
No, there's.
I-
It was. It
I
was
think so.
15,000.
Yes, there was, absolutely.
15,000 for Walker Jones and for
Walker
for
Jones School.
everything.
There was
For-
some for Walker,
for
I don't
Walker
know.
Jones.
I think
Walker
we did
Jones,
table
but not
this
for
part.
Terrell.
Well, maybe not
No.
Sarah.
Yeah.
So I would make other suggestions, the McKenna Center, once again, Central Union Mission, there's the Collaborative on K Street, which is part of our Frida's area. So I think that needs to be further discussed, the money.
Commissioners, we certainly are open to whatever conversation you want to have on that. The only thing I would say is
We have to decide that tonight.
the zoning commission,
Yeah.
the zoning commission
Good answer.
is increasingly,
I think we're spread out.
not disproving, but reluctant in terms of
What's the
just
bottom
financial
line?
contributions. So if monies are being involved in a benefits, which sounds like we are here, then we need to just work with the city to make certain that the monies are at least started to be funded by the time, you know.
Okay, and you will deal with, you'll be talking to Alex and myself again on this, I'm sure, so, and anybody else on the
And
commission who
Alfreda
cares
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Yes,
May say this or something.
yes.
But before our actual hearing, we need to have the amounts for each organization, what it's actually going towards. So we've seen hearings where it's a blanket number for X organization and zoning commission really frowns upon that. So we'll work that
So
out
there
prior to
are-
the hearing.
They will be
That
specific.
doesn't have to be done tonight.
No.
No,
There will be
not at all.
specific, equipment and programs. For example, if our library manager is still here,
Kathy, are
Ms.
you here?
Jenkins. So Ms. Jenkins has worked with the library administration to identify specific pieces of equipment that will be purchased for the library because the administration is not purchasing them, and programming that would be provided, especially to youth here at the library, that is not being funded by the public library system. So the intention here was to be able to provide support for youth programming and senior programming and recreation specifically that is not being covered by the District of Columbia government's budget.
So I guess my point is that these are organizations that, are completely separate from not a part of the DC system, like the McKenna Center, like the Virginia Mission, who would probably also appreciate some funding.
They
So, there you go.
may appreciate it, but no one, other than you is proposing that they
Well, you
receive
guys
it.
made this decision without all of us, so I don't,
No decision has been made
Okay, there you
yet.
go.
No,
Notice
no,
it
it's-
says-
But
but there's
there is a recommendation in place, so we're gonna talk about this offline.
Okay.
I mean, this is not something that has to be. What do you need from us for
We
for
need the
tonight?
ANSI support for our PUD modification application.
Okay. Whose district is it? It's yours.
It's mine.
You gonna make a motion?
Motion, no problem.
Good, let's hear it. We're gonna make the
Do you want me to
Go
make it
ahead.
for you?
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. I move that Advisory Board Commission 6C support the proposed PUD modification for 111 Massachusetts Avenue, and that we communicate that support to the Zoning Commission of the District of Columbia.
Second.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay,
Thank
so
you.
moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, please do. I like to spread the wealth. I don't understand this bullshit. Well, there was a great conversation, I know all of it. I know you. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me give you 1 minute for, your young lady, you are from David's office? Yes. Okay, let me give you 1 minute to make your announcement while we are waiting for 810 Oak Street to set up. So, my dear, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Sorry. So my name is Jo Panera. I'm a community outreach assistant at the Mayor's Office on Asian and Pacific Islander Affairs. So our office mainly, our goal is to improve the quality of life for Asian American and Pacific Islander residents in DC. But also we try to kind of contribute, we do a lot of program planning to contribute to the cultural diversity in the city. So we just have a couple announcements for the events that we're having in the summer. One of the series of events that we're having is the Chinatown Art Series, and we have 3 movie nights, and the first one is coming up really soon, which is going to be on June 16th at 7 p.m. It's a Korean movie night, and then we also have these are all free events, and we also have the weekly free yoga event at Chinatown Park, and we have free Tai Chi class as well, and we have And also, the most exciting, I think, is the community picnic that's taking place on June the 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have cultural performances, music, and a lot of food vendors, all at the park. And also, we have another creative event. It's called the Life as API LGBT Youth panel discussion, which is taking place on June 23rd. And the location, actually, we're working on the venue. We're gonna change the venue, so, and that happened just like before the meeting today. So we'll, you can still RSVP, and then we'll send you an update and we'll confirm the venue. And I'll leave the poster, can I leave the flyers here? Yeah, I'll leave the flyers here. And also, like, if you have any friends or if you know anyone who is Asian American or Pacific Islander, they need help, you can refer them to us, and we're happy to work with them one-on-one individually and work with other DC government agencies to help them address their concerns or answer their questions. And also, please come to our events.
This is the second year that the community has, the Chinatown community has gotten involved with the rest of the people around and supporting all different activities. The picnic is the second annual picnic. It happened last year as well. And that, if you recall, we had the crane exhibit with the musical cranes in the area. That happened just about that night with the picnic. And the classes are held, now for those of you who don't know where Chinatown Park is, if you know where the Hampton Inn is on 6th and Massachusetts, it's the park directly across the street, the triangular shaped park that is on the border of Chinatown where they get ready for the parade for Chinese New Year. So just so you know where that is. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, 8:10. Alex has recused himself because he is involved in other things with this presentation.
Good evening. My name is Kyra Screamer. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Holland & Knight here on behalf of the applicant with Steve Castle of 4 Points. We will try to be quick but thorough. So to the extent that you have any questions as a result of our presentation, I will happily answer those. We have boards that show the building. I have more detailed plan sets here if anyone would like to see them. This is just an excerpt of it. If anyone else wants them, I'd be happy to have them. But again, for the purposes of time, I'm just going to go through it. Our site does not look like that now. Our site is the Scripture Cathedral site at 9th and O Street. It's square 399, lot 33. We filed a PUD and map amendment to rezone the site from C2A to C3B, which permits 6.0 FAR and 90 feet. And is consistent with the comp plan designation and other planning principles associated with the site. You may have seen this building a few months ago, if not a year ago, because we went through the ANC process and went to HPRB for concept approval of the design. So if it looks familiar, that's why. Again, HPRB granted concept approval for the project, and we're now going to the zoning commission for their approval. The project is relatively smaller in that it's only 66 units within the 6.0 and the 90 feet. Approximately 68,000 square feet. 6,800 square feet of ground floor retail. We have 2 levels of below grade parking. Unlike a number of other times I've been here asking for parking relief, we're actually providing more parking than is required, and that we're at 1-to-1. We have 66 units and we have a minimum of 67 parking spaces. Frankly, we're trying to figure out how to get a couple more in there. We have 22 bike spaces, and we're designed to be the equivalent of LEED Gold. So it's pretty straightforward PUD. The only zoning relief that we're asking for is load-in relief. We're required to have a 55-foot berth. No one provides 55-foot berths anymore. It's really difficult to get a 55-foot truck into the building, given that there's a narrow alley kind of to our east. So our only zoning relief is a 55-foot load-in berth. In terms of public benefits and amenities, again, we're making public space improvements. We're designing a LEED Gold. We're exceeding the parking requirements. We are providing activating ground floor retail. And we are making a number of contributions to a variety of community groups that we've worked with our ANC SMD commissioner to identify. Those groups include Bread for the City, Managed Services for the Aged, Family Life Center Foundation, DC Art Space, Banneker City, Little League, Kennedy Rec Center, Shaw Main Streets. So a variety of additional contributions for specific needs. So happy to go through the plans in more detail, provide any additional information about the project, but that concludes our direct, unless Steve would like to add to that.
I'd just like to mention that I represent 4 Points. We were the developer of Progression Place up at 7th and S in the United Negro College Fund headquarters. We took an approach to the retail where we really focused on identifying local entrepreneurs, and I believe the community has been very pleased with the different businesses we've been able to locate at Progression Place. Additionally, we had a very robust community benefits agreement and proffers that we have delivered on during and subsequent to the completion of the project. And we're really excited about this particular site. As Kairos mentioned, it's not a huge project. It's modest at 66 units, and the footprint's only 15,000 feet. But we do think there's an opportunity at this particular stretch of the Shaw neighborhood just north of Blagden Alley and south of the Cambria Suites to build something really beautiful that's going to enhance the historic district and continue the really nice evolution of 9th Street from the Convention Center north. This particular view is looking to the southeast from the corner of 9th and O Northwest. There's going to be significant green elements on the roof as well as streetscaping. This is the view from the south. You'll recognize the BP station, Effort for Ex-Convicts, and then our building. And then finally, this is the ground floor plan, which includes the 6,800 square foot of retail. We have a very wide sidewalk on O Street, and the residents will enter from the north to a residential lobby. Loading will be off the alley as well as the parking. We are setting the building back 10 feet to create a wider alley, which will now be 20 feet. And then finally, this is your roof plan that shows the significant green elements and green roof that will be designed into the project. So looking forward to working through this process with the ANC going forward, and happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Is this a rental or a condo? What is it?
It's likely going to be condo. It's condo.
It's planned for condo.
Okay, and are there affordable housing units?
Yeah, we
How
meet
many?
IZ. So it's an 8% requirement. We have 6 units out of the 66.
8%? I thought it was 30%.
No, 30% is for district disposition, so this is not a district disposition. So we have 6 affordable units, 5 at 80%, and one of them at 50%.
Nothing for lower than that? Why not?
Well, we're at what the regulations require, 80 and 50.
Okay. Anybody else?
So has the money for we named those community groups, when would that money be distributed?
So it'd be issued prior to the issuance of a COO for this building.
So kind of make some other suggestions when the time comes?
We
Or are those
are,
set in stone, the groups that you mentioned?
are the groups that
The nonprofits you
have
mentioned?
been provided to us, so we are happy to explore the
I
list
would yes.
as necessary in order to kind of get to the end, which is the goal of having ANC support for our application.
So, but I can talk to you offline about
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you'd have
So
to
you
talk
will-
to
You
everybody
gotta-
involved
Well, so I
first.
suggest that you,
Don't go
do I
there.
have to start now?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the question was, what specific relief are we asking for? We're required to provide one loading berth at 55, so it's a mix of residential and retail. So we're required to provide one berth at 55 feet, one berth at 30 feet, 2 service delivery spaces at 20 feet, so that's a total of 4 berths essentially. And we're providing 2 instead of 4. We're providing 1 at 30, 1 at 20.
So I'd like to say, publicly, might as well just say it now, so I would not, say Alex's group is on there, so on Main Street for the money that's being distributed. So I'd like to make other suggestions at a future point, so.
We are happy to do whatever's necessary
Okay, I'm
with
just putting it out
community
there.
support.
Ta-da!
But,
Question.
I have a question.
Well, first you have to wait, ma'am, until we're done with the commission asking their questions. Okay, so, you're asking us to approve a 55-foot berth for the loading.
so we're required to have a 55, a 30, 2 at 20, and 1 in a 500 square foot platform. We have 1 at 30, 1 at 20, 1 at 500. So that is our limit. Really.
So, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to really, I'm really
I'm
dumb at
getting
this point.
I'm getting ready.
What is the,
We're asking.
what are you asking us to support?
In general, we're asking you to support our PUD application for approval.
The full PUD
Correct.
application? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
So
not
he-
just
He was
a-
just describing the relief,
No, I
the
was
only
just
relief that
thinking
we
loading,
asked for.
Because when you think about loading, the loading area, I mean, that's kind of, if trucks don't have a place to go.
no, I understand what you're, yeah, I understand what you're saying, I just wanna make sure when I write the letter,
Right.
I know what I'm writing it for.
And again, note, this loading is in the alley, it's not in the public.
So that's the relief for loading.
Okay,
So that's the specific loading, and we're asking for PUD approval for 90 feet, 6.0 FAR.
got it, okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions? This falls in Alex's area, but,
I should add, we went to the planning and zoning committee meeting
last week.
last week, this
Yeah,
week?
Last week, yeah.
And they voted to recommend approval.
I'm going to make a motion for Alex that we support this project and we support the PUD and the exception for loading docks and 55-foot, whatever we need to do with both zoning and Department of Transportation. Can I have a second?
Can I make a friendly amendment, Mark?
Mhm.
That we also reconsider the funds that are given to the nonprofits in the neighborhood. That those be reconsidered or examined.
You don't have to.
But that's not a part of what we're voting.
I'm just saying, he was talking about it, I'm just putting it out.
Yeah, but that's not going in as the PUD, that's something separate. That doesn't have to be decided this evening, just like the previous one. But,
Just making
okay.
a statement.
All in favor?
wait a minute.
Oh,
I didn't hear a second.
I'll second.
okay. I made the motion, Kevin seconded it, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
You didn't do the questions.
Excuse me?
I thought you were gonna do questions from the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, ma'am, you had a question.
Yeah, my question was that I heard the discussion regarding the change of the contributions that were mentioned. So do you guys do that in private or private meetings or?
Yes.
It
Okay.
seems to have been done in private meetings.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
It usually is done in private meetings and depending on who suggests which group should be included is usually amongst the commission and the folks who are actually doing the development.
Okay, well,
Why is
this,
Yeah, why is
I
it
would like-
private, Marge?
I
Let
asked
me-
you a
The
question.
vote is
Let me,
taken in
can I
public.
answer her question as well? Can I just add to that?
But the vote is taken in public, yeah.
One, just so you know, one thing that procedurally, the way a number of ANCs work, they generally, every project is within a single member district, which is an area. We tend to outreach and interface with that single member district commissioner, and they help us identify the groups and the needs.
Right.
So that's the general process of how the list was
I
created.
mean, if this project
So-
is being done here, you're not gonna be giving money to my single-member district over in Mount Vernon Triangle, because that wouldn't be appropriate.
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm a former ANC, I understand that. I want to know what position here was being taken because one of the nonprofits that I'm familiar with, that I've been working with, and that's why I was inquiring about that. And I would still like to make sure that our ANC, that our nonprofit receive the funds. That's the Family Life Center Foundation.
Is
That's why I
That
was.
was
that
included.
That
is
is,
that in
That was
Commissioner
included.
Padro's single
Yeah,
member?
yeah.
You can talk
it
to
was one
him
of the
about
lists.
that.
Yeah, he has it in there.
Oh,
He
okay.
has it in there, but I want to make
Yeah.
sure that you weren't talking about changing that one. That's what I was asking.
No, I just brought up his organization.
Okay. Thank you, Rochelle.
Uh-huh. The
Okay,
obvious one.
so we have one abstention, Karen, and 6, okay, so your motion is passed? No, you didn't. Antonio did.
Antonio.
Thank you.
We will take care of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Liberty Place. I have no right to ask you that. So,
I mean, you're not suggesting that
and some of these people get money all the time. Everybody has a copy of your hearing.
Oh,
Which you dropped in.
yeah.
Okay, I think it also goes to 40. Okay.
All right,
Great.
Should Alex be back in?
If he comes in, we're not waiting, we're on time constraint.
Hello, my name is Rob Richardson. I'm with the development team that's proposing Liberty Place Apartments to be a 67-unit affordable housing project in a 9-story building at 3rd and I Street Northwest. It's right next to Mount Carmel Baptist Church. The end of the block is the APAC building. Currently, it's vacant land in between. You can think about this as the first phase of a 2-phase project. Because once the affordable housing project is built, then market rate housing will be built right next to it. The land is currently owned by groups that you might be familiar with: Quadrangle Development Company, the Wilkes Company, and Mount Carmel Baptist Church. Those are the groups that developed some other projects in Mount Vernon Triangle area. They developed the Lyric, the Madrigal Lofts condominium project, and the Sonata building. And they will do another market rate building after we complete the affordable housing project. This affordable housing project was submitted for funding last night to the DC Department of Housing and Community Development, and we are here asking for the ANC's support of our funding request for the project. It will serve people at 50% of area median income and below. That means